Well. You're listening to Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright then, I may say words on point, straightforward. No jibber jabber, everybody forward. Issues, facts and solution. Get it at Gloves Off with Professor Buitrón. Alright, what other thing is a revolution? Get it on point with Professor Buitrón. Gloves Off, no nonsense issues, politics, community. A better men follow reader. Gloves Off, a revolutionary show with everything that you need to know. With Professor Buitrón. Watch ya!
Gloves Off is always on point. Bringing you the best on current issues, community affairs, and the happenings around us. This segment of Gloves Off is brought to you by the best, so pay them a visit. Check them out. This is Gloves Off. The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Gloves off, and today I have Chuy Garza. We're just going to be touching base on 2020 and how it looks for podcasts and what's going on here in Laredo. How we doing, Judge? You doing good?
Good morning. I'm glad to be here in the show. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year to everyone.
And we have a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, no, we're even though I may not be seen much, but you and I talk pretty often, and so we're always knowing. I know what's going on, in this type of world, because you and I talk so much, and we share the same passion for local politics, state and national politics, and so we're always talking. So the public might not know that, but we certainly do.
People need to understand that amongst us, the podcasters and reporters and stuff, we all kind of talk to each other. We have a communal friendship.
Yes, we're always keeping up.
So if one doesn't cover, the other person knows, and if we can't do it, we'll send somebody back and forth, and that's why we opened up Toca, and I think it's done a great job. Yeah. And it's open to any podcasters that wish to partake within Toca, which is a Texas Online Communications and Coverage Association.
Right.
It's a nonprofit. We've got a bunch of goals coming in, so I'll put the website and the link later on here.
And of course, you're the president of the board, and the importance about Toca is the fact that this organization is to help other people who are not familiar with doing podcasts, how to teach them to do podcasts, and be able to speak out on whatever issues that they want, or be able to teach the rest of us certain topics, certain methods or things that we don't know about from people doing podcasts about beauty and gardening and car repairs and roof repairs and all kinds of any topic that you want to talk about. This is a good source of support, assistance to get you off the ground.
Absolutely. We need to understand that with this type of goals that we have, we got individuals from Dallas. We have the great show of Ken Goldberg's Law and Disorder, which is a great attorney, great trial lawyer, great motivational speaker, and he has a great show about that. Right. Of course, we have your show 24/7. We have Juan Rodriguez. We have the Liquid Studio, which is great to make media. We have Duncan and his group that are doing, and we have a lot of others that we have to bring them in.
And I do want to let them know also that even if you don't want to necessarily do a podcast, if you want to learn how to tape or what equipment to purchase or how the equipment works, I'm sure we're willing to help you out, so that way you could just take off and learn, because this is in fact the future. This is the easiest way of being able to get to the masses or to the public on whatever topics that you want to talk about.
You're absolutely correct. I came on board here just as a whim, and my cousin, Sergio Mora, which he has a podcast that goes on, which is a great podcast. He said, "Come on over," and we started. That's basically what started me. So we thank him on that, and it's taken off. We're in the 330th something edition right now, and show and episode, and we're going in. But today I want to talk about Laredo and what's going on in Laredo right now.
Okay.
We got a couple of issues. We have the issue of the wall that's still going on.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of issues affecting the border on both sides. In fact, our show, Texas Border Chronicles, is basically geared at talking about issues that affect Laredo and Laredo as a whole. However, there's a lot of other interesting undercurrents that are going on as well.
Yesterday I was called by several people. They were concerned about something called Recode Laredo, which is basically they want to do a recode of Laredo for it to go to this green wave new. Some people call it a agenda of the Agenda 21 mindset. Some people might look at it that way. Some other people think that it's more of a liberal city. People want. There's a group here in Laredo that want to turn Laredo into an Austin, into a Portland, into those type of cities that have, in San Francisco, that have failed dramatically. And those are not opinions anymore. Those are actual facts that those cities have literally failed. And we can't be tearing down our identity of Laredo as per se and changing it for it to become San Antonio and Austin.
Well, I cannot speak for that group because I don't know. I've never heard of this group. All I can tell you is that Laredo is a very special place in the state of Texas. It sits on the Pan American Highway that runs all the way to Argentina, all the way to Canada. That is why Laredo is what it is when it comes to the trucking business. If we didn't have Highway 35, we wouldn't be as successful a city as we are today. And of course, the Rio Grande that obviously divides both countries. So I think that any business or project design, anything that we do has to be based at least on those two basic premises. The river, anything dealing with the river, anything dealing with I-35. In fact, I've always said that Laredo has a very strong small business mentality because we have a lot of small businesses. In fact, small business what runs this country, more so than the rest of, in my view, South Texas.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct. We have to support our small businesses,
Yes.
and we have to support them not only locally, but wherever we go elsewhere, we have to support them,
Yes,
because that's
definitely.
basically what gives that community
Right.
its identity, and its build up. Okay. Within the podcasts, last year we kind of started we threw a wrench in that machine of the political machine.
Oh yeah,
we started the debates.
2 years ago, I think that you started and I started some debates that were very helpful. I think because the public needed, the local TV station or stations are not covering debates anymore, or if they are, they maybe do one. And with the change of the digital era, the newspaper is not covering as much political information that's going on in our community. And yet we still have the same races, and we still have a lot of public officials running in control of a lot of money in terms of taxpayer money. And yet there seems to be less accountability for many of them. So the rise of podcasts, I think, has helped the local community find out what is our local politicians
Absolutely.
doing. And part of that, of course, parlays into debates and things like that.
When we started the debates, I had a lot of people call me and message me. Some were for it and some were against it. I had some from the Webb County Democratic Party. They'll call me up and they say, "Why was I doing this? Who am I? Who am I supposed to do it?" Well, number one, I'm a citizen. I pay taxes, and number one, we're just giving those that are lesser informed information for them to
But
use.
we are also reflective of the reality of the matter is that the digital age is here, and the internet is much more powerful than it was many years ago, and television and print newspaper is while they're powerful, they continue to play a vital role. The internet age, the podcasts have seen it's grown, and Laredo definitely needed to have a few podcasts dealing with public officials and dealing with politics to keep them honest.
Absolutely. And it's not, many think they're afraid to come out, and it's no, nobody's gonna attack you, nobody, at least I'm not.
No.
At least I'm not, nor are you. We're gonna talk about the issues. It's good for you to go out there and voice what you have to
Right.
say, what you've done, who you are, because people don't know you.
Yeah, and you're right. When you started, Paul, maybe a year or two ago, you may have raised some ire with some of these public officials. So the public is, who is Paul or even myself doing some of these podcasts, even Poncho Castro or Jason John or whomever else is doing them, they must have an axe to grind. We actually don't. The only axe to grind is we want the public to know who our public officials are, what do they stand for, what are they going to do for us in the next 2 to 4 years, and for people to make an informed decision when they vote.
One thing I'm gonna interject here, when there was a debate from the Webb County Party, and they had the debate over there, people called and they said, "We want to do yours, but is there going to be security? Because one of my helpers got into an altercation, was pushed, was hit, blah blah blah." And I said, "It's not going to be nothing like that here. Everything's going to be the same.
Right.
It's no so and so. They attacked me with the questions to me. They gave me all the hard questions, and the other person had the lenient questions. No, here, as you've well seen, a judge, everybody gets the same question.
They get the same
Everything's
questions.
the same. Nobody's going to get attacked. There's no attack for anybody.
No.
There's no personal
Yeah.
gain with anybody. So people need to understand that when you come out here, it's going to be equal. It's an equal play.
There are no political games that I know none of us play. We just want the public to be aware about the election, what people stand for or what they stand for. Give basically the same questions to a lot of these public officials, and just to have an informed citizenry. It's very important that people from Laredo know what is going on. And like you said, I don't think you've ever done that under the belt with anybody. I don't know about anybody else, but I know that when you do a debate that you've been pretty good about that. And I'm sure the public officials are aware of that.
Oh, and we will. And this Saturday, folks, we're going to be pre-recording debates. And it's a lot easier to pre-record than go live. The algorithms of Facebook and such have changed dramatically. We're not that technically inclined. We're still learning, so we're going to pre-record them and then put them up there.
It's important that the public understand, and again, I guess our one of the biggest adversaries against the podcast groups is this algorithm that Facebook has, and a lot of the other social media engines. All of them are run by algorithms, and it doesn't bode well for anybody trying to provide information, straight news or information, because the algorithm is set up not to provide news unless it's going to be a paid news. You have to buy an ad to be able to put your podcast out there, basically. And so it costs money every time a podcast is done. And so, your biggest adversary is the algorithm.
Yep.
In Facebook.
It's so people need to be aware of that. This weekend we're going to have the commissioner for Precinct 1 debate. We're going to have the tax assessor. We're going to have the justice of the peace of Webb County, Precinct 1, Place 1. And we're also going to have the constable on the west side of debate. In February 1st, we're going to have some other debates for Texas State Representative, another constable's race, and so it's going to be again. I would just recommend to everybody to stay tuned, stay involved, stay tuned, and go vote. Again, at the end of the day, it's all about. It's not about what Paul and I are thinking. Basically, it's what you're thinking, because your vote matters, and we need to go out and get informed. Absolutely. Another thing, we had a great interview with our elections administrator, Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Folks, if you guys want to get involved with the voting process and counting the votes and being involved, please go there. I think so. I'm going to do it this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go there. And I told them I'm going to help you out because I need to experience what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never done it. We have way too many stories and urban legends of what's out there going on, and I'm going to be there for that reason. Not because of I doubt, because I want to experience how it is, and I want to start helping out in that format. Because I think it's beneficial, because we have way too many people that do not help.
Right.
And I think we need to, and especially in those elections.
Right. I think that Paul, this podcast, along other podcasts that are going on, has put the light on certain practices that we in the past have thought, well, maybe they're not, things aren't being run the right way. But by doing podcasts and talking to Mr. Ortez and talking to all these public officials and candidates, it only shines the light on who these people are and how they're gonna do the work. And so it's important that we go out and watch it and support it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Judge, and you bring out a great thing, because in the podcast, people might not like me, might like you, might not like you, might like the other one.
Yes.
Get involved, follow, look, search. And I told all the candidates out there, if you do not, because I contacted everybody. I sent them a text, I sent them a message, I sent them an email, if there's an email, and I've called them. If you feel that you need to come out, or I haven't reached you, please do so. My number is 956-401-4868. It's open, people know where it's at. We'll come out here, we'll set you up, and we can move forward, okay?
That's right.
And other than that, we have a bunch of stuff going on. Those people from the Rico Laredo, you guys want to come out here and talk as well, please do so. We'll invite you. It's all about understanding and moving Laredo forward in a better understanding with a lot of people, because a lot of people might say, no, we're doing this, we're out in the
I
open.
think that all groups, I think that if you're, And I encourage, if there are groups out there who support a candidate, I would like for those candidates and those groups to come out and just tell us what the agendas are. Nothing wrong with it. I think some of them may be good agendas for all we know. But if you don't expose or you don't tell us who these groups are, what they do, there's gonna be a lot of other people thinking they have other agendas. But to me, as far as long as you look at the issue about the Rio Grande, Highway 35, and everything that goes in the being mostly in the Hispanic community and being being the traditions that we have in Laredo, you gotta start with that basis. And anything that creates jobs, as far as I'm concerned, I'm all in. However, sometimes we also think that some good things come in from out of town. Of course, I would support things that are good for our community. But sometimes people have certain agendas where money is involved and they have certain business projects that in the long run is not good for the community. That stuff needs to be exposed because at the end of the day, we're all paying taxpayers, we're all taxpayers. And we only want the best for our kids and the taxpayers, nothing more.
Absolutely. So once more, the debates are here, whether it's mine or the ones that you're gonna have. To candidates, show up, and we're not getting no ratings. Number one, we're not getting anything out of it.
We get not. I don't want to. Nobody makes money off these things. However, we may not get anything out of it personally, but we get the satisfaction that the community saw you, the candidate, telling the public what they plan to do. To me, that's what we want.
Absolutely. One other notion is there's so much moving forward. You know, people called and they said, "Can people go watch your debates being pre-recorded?" Yes, you can. We're going to have the space is limited. We're only having 25 people out here. It's a $10 donation, not for me. You know what I do with that money? I put it in a kitty and I give it to a student that needs their equipment to continue martial arts. We have a lot of kids out here that we touch base with. Some cannot pay tuition and they're here on the sponsorship. Some need uniforms, some need such like that, and that's how we help them out. So before we used to have car washes and plate sales,
right,
what have you, to help them out, even when we used to go to tournaments, because we are self-funded. We're not, Buitron Academy is self-funded. So that's what it's for. You can be helping out the youth.
Yes, definitely.
But other than that,
and I would encourage everybody to. The debates are fun to watch, while I'm sure the public's not going to be able to come in and disrupt a debate, but it's always good to see the actual candidates being present, and so. I would urge that they buy those tickets. And again, there are very few tickets, and it's going to go out as soon as you put them up. They're going to be gone because 20 tickets is not a lot.
Yeah.
But it's a good experience for those people who want to watch.
Absolutely. Once more, you all be safe. Judge, thank you again.
Good seeing you.
And
Happy New Year.
we'll keep on moving forward.
Well, sure will.
Thank you.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off. Gloves Off is always on point. On point. Bringing you the best on current issues, community affairs, and the happenings around us. This segment of Gloves Off is brought to you by The Best, so pay them a visit. Check them out. This is Gloves Off.